Hello and welcome back to Justin Talks Villa. This is In the Tunnel, Liverpool preview. Hello, welcome back. If you're new around here, please subscribe to the channel, get involved in the comments, and please drop this video a like. It helps massively. So, Liverpool away. We face the reigning champions, who we all know are in a pretty woeful run of form. Let's bring the statistics up straight away and we'll see what we're facing. Because I want to highlight the elephant in the room, and what I'm seeing all over social media now is that they are on a really bad run of form, and Villa, it'd be just like Villa to go there and get beat. Look, that can happen. It won't happen because of Liverpool's run of form. It'll happen because we're not ready and we're not prepared and we throw in a bit of a stinker. I personally think we are more than capable of going to Anfield and beating Liverpool. The fact they're in poor form doesn't mean that they are suddenly going to turn around and hammer Villa on Saturday. Obviously, they carry a lot of quality players. They have thrown a lot of money at it in the summer. I wrote an article this week over on Substack saying, does consistency and having, not a huge turnaround of players help, or is it better just to keep spending and spending and spending? And I think sometimes when you spend the amount of money they have, it becomes very difficult to keep momentum going. And they have found that this season, throwing all these extra brand new bodies in. I mean, really high profile players like your Isaks, your Ekatikas, your Wirtzes. They've put some really, really top players together, but they're just not gelling. As you can see from their run of form, it is pretty woeful. Losing to Palace, losing to Galatasaray, losing to Chelsea, losing to Man United. Chelsea and Man United, two of the real up and down teams of the Premier League, but they've been down more than they've been up. So they'll be bitterly disappointed they lost those two. Really good win in the Champions League away at Frankfurt. Then that huge defeat at Brentford. And then they did rest a lot of players last night for the EFL Cup game, but they did lose again fairly comfortably. So can Liverpool turn it around? Of course they can. But we have to be on our guard. We have to make sure we do not allow them to turn it around against us. Why are they so poor? So I've been doing a bit of research, and I've found a really, really good article. And it's over on Opta Analyst, that's it. And this was written yesterday, and it's really good. And looking at some of the data I've been looking at for Liverpool, it really feeds into this. Everybody is going long against Liverpool, and it's working. And I think this also ties into a new, not new because it's very old-fashioned, but the trend that's starting to develop in the Premier League of long ball, long throws, lumping the ball into the box, as we used to say back in the day, the old Wimbledon tactics, just get it up in the mixer and cause problems. And I think Liverpool being a passing team, I mean, if we look quickly at who is the top of the possession stats this season, Liverpool, comfortably clear. Usually you see Man City in that number one spot, but Liverpool love the ball. They love to keep control of the ball. So they love to pass it around. And what are teams doing this season? They're bypassing that. They're not getting into a battle of who can keep the ball better, who can pass through each team better. No, teams are going longer against Liverpool. So this article goes on to say, I won't bore you with all of it, but we'll try and look into some of the real interesting statistics on it. This is Manchester United, all their long balls against Liverpool when they played them, and it is ridiculous. It is the most long balls. Ahead of matchday 10, Ruben Amorim's side have attempted more long balls than any other team in the Premier League this season. So they would like huge on long balls. Liverpool have faced more long balls than any team this season. 571 long balls against them in 9 games, and they're struggling. They can't compete with it. And these are the games with the most long passes in. As you can see, the top 3, all against Liverpool. Man United, Liverpool. Palace, Liverpool. Bournemouth, Liverpool. We've also got Chelsea, Liverpool in there as well. So this is this data is definitely something that they are struggling with. So following their 3-2 defeat to the Bees, Slot said definitively that teams of certain playing style against us. It is a very good strategy to play, and we have not found an answer yet. Again, Brentford, long balls, 22 successful, 42 unsuccessful. We will need to find an answer soon because it is clear some opposition managers are aware of it. So this is going to be something very, very interesting to keep an eye on against Villa. Also, something they've highlighted, which is very interesting, is the back two central defenders, Van Dijk and Konate, obviously very dominant in the air. The issue is they're not mopping up the second ball. So this is where teams are having a lot of success against Liverpool. They're going long. Konate or Van Dijk are winning the ball, but their midfielders aren't picking up the loose ball. They are getting the turnover via long balls. So instead of passing through the lines and hoping to just keep possession, teams are reverting to going long and then picking up the loose ball. So trying to get up the pitch, trying to press the game in the final third and to get bodies into that final third and then cause a bit of havoc. Liverpool long ball against this season. So it is therefore little surprise that 9 games in, Liverpool are yet to face anyone in the league who haven't gone long against them. So that is every game Liverpool have played against this season, and they've all chosen the long ball route. And you've got to say it's been successful. Galatasaray, long. Frankfurt didn't go as long, got absolutely mullered. So that's a really interesting statistic. So, yes, so that's something that's definitely something to keep an eye on in the game. Will Unai Emery pick up on this? Will he revert? I mean, we have seen Villa sort of attempting more long balls this season. I have noticed that, to be honest, but I'm not sure whether we're going to revert to that being our main style of play at the weekend. But after seeing that, I thought it'd be very, very interesting to see how we attack the game now based on these statistics. So league table, we all know we're doing much better now, and it's really, really interesting to see this. Look, I think we had 3 points after 5 games. So 4 games later, we're up to 15 points. Now, Liverpool, reigning champions, same points as us. We beat them on Saturday, and we get 3 points clear Liverpool after 10 games. And I've always said throughout the whole of the start of the season when we were struggling, let's see where we are after 10 games. So this also feeds into what I'm saying is don't always assume when a team is in a bad run of form that it's going to naturally be the game against Villa that's going to turn around. It's down to mindset. It's down to Villa at the weekend. We are playing well. We know that. Our form, as we can see here, is good. Beat Bologna, beat Fulham, beat Feyenoord, beat Burnley, beat Spurs. We all know what happened against Go Ahead. Blip. For me, it was a blip, and it was proven against Manchester City. Back to our best again against Man City. So we've got to make sure we are at our best. If we look at our zone of controls, which is also on Opta Analyst, which is really good site, this is where teams are touching the ball more than their opposition in open play. So the purple areas are where Villa dominate the ball, get more than 55% of touches in the game. So in the area, we obviously do really well. Down all the way down the central, we dominate the game. And then across that sort of 3-quarter mark into the final third, we dominating the ball here. And interestingly, very strong on the left-hand side as well, which we have seen Luke Dean do really well getting forward here. The pink areas are where the opposition have had more touches than us. So the left-hand side, they're sort of trying to think that maybe we've got a weakness, but I think Matika's having a brilliant season. And in the defensive third as well, we're allowing teams to have the ball here, but then we're engaging with them when they start to come slightly up the pitch. So again, all very interesting. Liverpool, again, They are the number one for total shots on target this season. Another interesting statistic for me, because I think we've just got to make sure we don't allow them to play their possession-based passing game. I'm not saying we're going to revert to the long ball, but I think we've got to definitely utilise that issue that they are facing now. And as I say, it's going to be really, really interesting to see if we can exploit Liverpool. So let's bring up this next set of graphics to show you a couple of other interesting things that I have seen. This one is this one here. Okay, right. Now this is the game Liverpool faced against Brentford last week. Now, a player that we have to stop is here, Dominic Szoboszlai. So these are his successful and these are every single pass he attempted to make against Brentford. As you can see, he is everywhere. He is, for me, the metronome. He's the playmaker. He is everything that Liverpool try and go through him. So if we add in Curtis Jones, and I do expect Ryan Gravenberch to be fit for the weekend. He has missed a few games through injury, but we would expect Ryan Gravenberch to sit in where Curtis Jones was. So as you can see, these two players here, hugely influential. Everything goes through them, but especially Szoboszlai. If we take away the unsuccessful passes, hardly any. There's only a handful there, so everything goes through him. If you look at the example of, say, a Florian Wirtz, they're just not getting much of the ball. Salah hardly seeing the ball. Ekitike had to come really deep to try and get involved in the game. So it is very, very. I thought that was a really interesting statistic, and it's somebody that I'm highlighting that we have to stop getting the ball into. And again, this sort of way of bypassing the midfield and not allowing Szoboszlai to have the ball as much, hopefully will mean that we can be more dominant in the game, and hopefully it will mean we can get a decent result on Saturday. Okay, right. What other thing I was going to say? Right. Yes. So this will feed into, once again, into my point about bypassing Liverpool's passing game. So this is the passing network, which I really like, and I haven't used much, to be honest. I don't know why. So this is Liverpool's passing network for the Brentford game. Okay. So basically what this means, if you haven't seen this before, is the thicker the line. So you can see here, so Konate to Mamardashvili, and then you've got this passing here from Szoboszlai to Mamardashvili. It's a hard name to say, isn't it? Mamardashvili. So the thicker the lines, the more they pass to each other, the more the connection is between them. So Szoboszlai and Curtis Jones, huge amount of interaction there. Jones to Kirkes, Jones, Van Dijk. So what you can see is inside their own half, they are very, very dominant. You can see this here, all these really, really thick lines here where the ball is just getting popped around, popped around, popped around. Once they get over the halfway line, it seems to be breaking down. There isn't a lot of interaction there. I mean, only 5 passes the whole game between the right back and the right winger, which is, you would say, very disappointing, and probably feeds into why Salah's having such a poor start to the season. Gakpo and Kirkes, again, only 7 balls in between the two. And then you get Wirtz and Gakpo, only 4 times did they find each other in the whole game. And again, Gakpo and Szoboszlai, they're just not getting these players involved in the game much. And is that because the opposition are bypassing the passing game? Now, you look at Brentford's passing network. It is unbelievably different. Look how strong that is. Normally, when you see a passing network like that, the team wins the game because they are dominating possession. They are keeping the ball. Everything they are doing is just to stop the opposition getting any kind of momentum in the game. Whereas Brentford, hardly anything. I mean, Yarmouk barely made a pass to anyone. Henderson. I mean, the thickest line there is, I'd say, Van der Berg to Kelleher, and then Kelleher to Collins. and there was a little bit of interaction up front. So how did they win this game? Long ball. They got into this area here and they caused havoc. They picked up the second balls. It's very unlikely that Ollie Watkins is going to win many aerial duels against Van Dijk or Kanate. But what we've got to do is make sure our three in behind are pressing high up the pitch, which means we've got to make sure we get out from the back. We've got to press up to the halfway line, and we've got to make sure that we are dominating numbers-wise in this area here. So if we do try and go long, we can pick up the second balls, and then we can start to get into our business, the business area here, and try and cause some havoc. So that is another interesting statistic I found. Right, let's have a look at team news, shall we? Injury news. Right, Liverpool's injury news. Here we go. Okay, so this is the weekend's injury news. I think he's a third choice goalkeeper, so I don't think we'll worry about him. Frimpong is definitely ruled out. Curtis Jones currently being assessed. When was this updated? I think this was updated yesterday, maybe. Right, so Alisson Becker is out. Gravenberch and Isak potentially back. So this was on October the 24th. Isak is not too bad. He's a question mark for the weekend. Let's see where he is. So that Isak could be back in the squad, and also let's see where he is. That's the same for Ryan Gravenberch. So they are expecting Gravenberch and Isak to be fit. Right, as far as Villa goes, last update for Garcia was October the 22nd, and it's saying it's not sure about him. Harvey Elliott is unable to play at the weekend because he is a loan player from Liverpool, so that'd be interesting that he'll be out. Tielemans still yet to get an update on him. Should get that tomorrow with the press conference, and it will also be interesting to see what the news is on Emi Buendia. Let's pray for Emi Buendia that it is not too bad, because I will be absolutely devastated if Emi Buendia is missing for any particular amount of time. Okay, so let me get into team selection. Right. What am I going for? Okay, so bearing in mind everything I've just said, I think this is what we'll go with. So, pretty obvious. Emi Martinez starting goal. The back four, I think, still picks itself. They are playing excellently, and this is the way I would just retain what we're doing. For me, this guy here is just coming into his own now, and I think he's crucial against Liverpool, because the long balls are where hopefully his accuracy will help massively. Obviously, the greatest centre half in the Premier League this season will play. I also think Luca Dean will retain his left back spot because he's playing very, very well. I think excuse me, the double pivot again picks itself because they are both playing excellently, and the rapport between the two is building game on game. So it is good for me that these two here cause hopefully a lot of havoc. So Morgan Rogers definitely plays. Where he plays at the moment, I'm not going to say. Ollie Watkins starts up top. It is incredibly important for Ollie. We all know he's struggling in front of goal. We all know he hasn't scored the goals he would want to by now. But in this game, where we hopefully are going to exploit Liverpool's weaknesses, these are the areas we need Ollie Watkins to be running into. And this is part of his game. We all know he's excellent. Running the channels, running in behind, trying to drag defenders out wide, which will allow, hopefully, our three in behind to cause them some havoc. So we know Harvey Elliott can't be in the squad. We know Tielemans is injured. We know Buendia is out. So we've got Marlon, Mings up beyond the bench. Sancho is a possibility. I think Aloba could be on the bench now. We've got a couple of injuries there. Gassan is a possibility. For me, Maatsen is on the bench. Bogard is on the bench. Lindelof is on the bench. Bizot is on the bench. So 2 more positions, and I'm going to say we've got 4 options here. We've got Sancho, Marlon, McGinn, and Gassan. Obviously, Super John plays because he's been excellent again. And that leaves us 1 position for 3 players. So, options. Rodgers plays in the 10. Sancho comes in on the left. Possibly. It depends how much game time they wanted to get into Sancho. We know what happened the other day. And I think it is utterly pathetic, the media reaction to him being brought on and brought off in the same game. It has happened multiple times under Unai Emery's reign. He wasn't planned on having any more, I think it's been said, than half an hour in that game. That was the plan for him. He came on early to replace Buendia. He had a lot longer on the pitch than he was expecting to have. And at the time he was brought off with 15 to go, Gassan and Barkley for McGinn and Sancho was the decision to make because we wanted defensive stability in that area. Absolutely pathetic that they continue to try and cause issues with this young lad. He's just trying to get his career back on track. And it is utterly up to him. Look, I back any Villa player that plays for us, right? I'll back any Villa player. Let's just get this straight because I'm going to have a rant. Right? We'll come back to this in a minute. I back every single Villa player when they put the shirt on and they're on that pitch. Okay? Every single one of them. I don't care what has gone on for Sancho before he come to Villa. Like I didn't care what happened with Rashford at Manchester United, footballing wise. Absolutely don't care. They come to Villa, Rashford especially, attitude exemplary, performances on the pitch brilliant. Got his move to Barca where he's absolutely smashing it. Fair play to the lad, and I hope we helped him as much as he helped us in that period. Sancho, I'm hoping, has seen what happened to Rashford. He's out of contract next summer, and he's got the chance now. All he's got to do is talk to Emi Buendia. After Villa, you're only going down. So Sancho's got an opportunity now to get his career back on track. He's still a relatively young man. He has to have this attitude spot on, and then hopefully he can get himself up to speed with how we play, which is what we're seeing this transition with Harvey Elliott. And then hopefully he can then show us what he's got. We've seen sparks. We've seen moments where Sancho looks like he could be getting back to somewhere near where he was at Dortmund. And that's all we are hoping for, okay? But leave the goddamn kid alone to get on with his football. If he ruins it, if his attitude is wrong, if he doesn't produce, then that'll be it. He'll leave. He'll go back to Man United in the summer and he'll be looking for a club. But that is on him. It is not for anybody else outside of Aston Villa to try and throw him under the bus. I pray this kid can get anywhere near back his best form. Right. Rant over. Where was I? So, Gassan, again, is an option. He could possibly play on this right-hand side, which would then allow either Rodgers to play over here and McGinn to play in here. I would say out of the 3 options, and it's going to be very harsh on Marlon, it's probably the least. Oh, is it the least likely? Right. Let me put myself into Unai Emery's head. I think that is the most likely 3, followed by, this is for Emery, followed by probably that. Okay? Bearing in mind who we've got out. I'm going to say, let's start with this. That's where I'm going to be. Okay? I'm not saying that's what Emery's going to do, but this is what this is me. This is what I am going to say. So that's my bench. Marlon, Gassan, Bogard. We've also got, obviously, Barkley's back fit. Who else did we have back fit? Isn't in this number? Is there anyone else I missed out? Can't have Elliott, so he's missing. So there might be another kid on the bench. So you've got how many we allowed on the bench? 9, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, that's a fairly obvious bench as well. That is my starting at 11. Okay, and it's important for me that this is how we go, because I genuinely think. Let me just stick myself over here. That one of the big, and as I said to you all, I do wonder whether that this kind of outlet ball, right, is the way we're going to go. With Torres looking for Ollie Watkins either here or here, looking for these long balls into the channels for Sancho. Matty Cash, we know, loves a ball down into the sides. We've seen Emi Martinez as well. You know, when he's up here and when we are pressing high, you know, this is where I want us to be at the weekend. So when we're in possession, when we're playing out from the back, I want us to be really high up here. I want the double pivot to be here. Probably have Pau over this way here. Let's just take these lines off for a minute. We want Pau to be over here. We want to be here. We've seen Cash and we've seen Dean, as I highlighted on the match review after the other day, that I think this could be a really interesting way to go. We've seen Kamara or Anana just sitting in here. Whoever, one of them can sit, one of them can go, and then we can utilise this area here, where if we are going long, if this is going to be the way to beat Liverpool. As I say, this is just from my research. I'm not a tactical football genius. I've just had a good look at Liverpool and I've come up with this game plan. And it's just going to be really interesting to see how we go for it. So we want Ollie Watkins in here. We want McGinn. We want Cash. We want Rodgers. And then the second balls, we need to be making sure we're pressing as high as we can up to the halfway line and making sure that when we get the balls, we can have a little pop a goal. And hopefully we can absolutely obliterate Liverpool at the weekend, who are in poor form. And hopefully, amazingly, we could take 9 points from 9. Okay, that's it from me. Hope you've enjoyed it. I think I've rabbited on for far too long, if I'm brutally honest. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my Substack. That's where you'll get a lot of information for the channel. Thank you all once again for your continued support. I've had a really good month this month. I've had lots of new subscribers. So if you'd want to come away along with the journey, please do. It's great to see you all. There's lots of really interesting stuff planned because we all love the Villa. So I'll speak to you all soon. And hopefully all you travellers up to Liverpool have a great day and bring back those 3 points.